35 shots your team had tonight. That is the most of any of your Premier League teams in 351 games, but you couldn't find the back of the net. What went wrong?
Well, it's certainly a high stat, and there was some really good chance in there, and some scruffy ones, but they normally go in, or they should go in, whichever way you look at it. And I mean, it's very frustrating, when you see them stats and you can feel the state of the game, and the way it was. They were more or less camped in for most of the game. We probed, asked questions, but you need to find that killer moment, and that's the most frustrating thing as managers and coaches, because that's the bit you can't define, is someone finding that killer moment.
Is there a lack of confidence then that's stopping your team finding the killer moment?
Well, no, because they've found it in other games, but I think, like I say, it gets tight. The crowd are getting fidgety. They're on things, and that's part of the parcel of the job, by the way. So I'm not questioning the crowd. They've been amazing. But that calmness, that clarity to just find that moment. And people get snatching at chances, getting nervous in front of goal, and we have a couple of. I mean, look, not all of them are golden chances, but there's a few golden ones in there. Certainly, very, very good chances. What you call XG chances. So. Very frustrating. A lot of the game was the right way of trying to open up the opposition. We did open them up, but then didn't find the killer moment, and it's a frustrating one without a doubt.
You mentioned the crowd. It did feel on edge as the game went on, and at the full-time whistle there was a lot of boos. What do you make of that? Yeah,
there's a lot of noise around this place, and I understand it. It's not easy. The Premier League's not easy. I said when I got here, it's not going to be easy. I didn't see it was being a walk in the park, but I've been frustrated with a couple of games myself, without a doubt. So they'd be frustrated as well. It's not just them. We've got staff here who are all got their blood in this club and have done many years, some of them. It's hard for us to take when it's not quite our day, but we totally understand. And like I said, there's no question the fans here, they've been terrific. We're home and away. We've got to put teams to bed like that, because that many chances, you've got to find a moment, and so many near moments. Their keeper does make a fantastic save, probably the moment of the game for them. And you just have that feeling, you find one and it probably opens up. But the other side of it, it's a clean sheet and you get another point on the board. You can't overview that, but obviously very frustrated with them stats and we don't find a goal.
And obviously frustrating as well, dropping points to teams around you in Wolves, in Leeds and in Palace as well.
Yeah, well, like I say, I've been doing this in the Premier League a long time rather, and you can't always define that. No one probably thought we were going to get 3 points at Anfield, and we do. No one thought we'd go so well against Tottenham, and we did. So, it balances up, but I get your point, and don't get me wrong, I'm a realist. We needed to win that tonight. We didn't. We got a point, which is some kind of help, but, you're frustrated, especially when we've dominated a game like that.
Given, obviously, you said it was a must-win, and the way that the game's gone, how much pressure do you think is going to be put onto you and your team?
Well, that's part and parcel of the job. I mean, I've been doing this a long time, like I say, so it's not news to me. They're not all must-wins, but you want to win them games. People keep saying must-wins. Like I said, I've already told you 2 games where they thought it wasn't a must-win, and we got 6 poins. So it's what you get over a season. I mean, I'm well aware of that, but it is helpful, of course, if you're winning games like this, especially when you're that dominant. That's the key to it. Games that get away from you, they're the ones you look back on and reflect on. But we've got to move forward and go and work hard again.
Moving forward, you're going to Europe next week. Is it difficult to balance the need to survive in the Premier League with the dream of playing in Europe?
Yeah, it has been since I got here, the game schedule, and I think we've won 4, drawn 1, lost 1 in Europe, so that's been pretty effective business on that side of things. But we've got to do better than that in front of goal, without a doubt, whether it's whatever competition it's in, because, the frustration for me is that's the hardest part, getting them chance and not finding the net. No lack of effort from the players, no lack of general commitment to try and score a goal, by the way, which is key, because you don't want people shying away from it. They're not shying away from it. But the moment of truth, that's when it really counts, and we didn't find that.
And just finally from me, Sean, what will you tell your players today? What will you tell the owners of this football club after this?
You keep going. That's the rules of a season in the Premier League. There's no time to lick your wounds, if you like. We will do over the next day, but you get what I mean. You have to park it. We make sense of it, and we move forward again. We work, and we keep working diligently, changing systems, changing teams, looking at different ways we can vary it to try and win a game. And that's just what you do. That's the work that we do. The main thing is the unity of the group. Questions get asked, the noise gets big, and it gets big very fast now. And that's part and parcel of the job. So the main thing is the unity of the group.
Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Thank you.